discussion and possible action regarding RMA's proposal to conduct feasibility analysis for public-private partnerships for a fee of $22,800. Mr. Benton.
Madam Mayor, you have in your package a memo from me and a proposal from RMA that was requested by the council for RMA to look into proceeding with a study to do a P3 on Northeast 2nd Avenue on the 3 parcels of land that we have here, City Hall, Police Station, and the newly acquired Catholic Charities building. Mr. Kevin Crowder is here tonight in case you have any specific questions of him representing RMA, and I have in your packet the proposal. As you can see, it totals $22,800.
Council, would you like to hear Mr. Crowder first, and then? Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr. Crowder.
Thank you, and I'll just be brief and touch on just the key elements of the proposal. But the key thing in looking at a public-private partnership is to identify what are the public needs, what are the goals of the village in a public-private partnership, and then identifying what is the potential and the revenue sources for the project that will attract a private developer to it. And then developing the specific criteria that you can take to market in an RFP that will attract developers with enough certainty that they're confident in bidding, while also giving them the creativity to give you a really good product that delivers those needs that you're looking for. Really what we do is understand and identify what is that criteria that the village is looking to get out of a public-private partnership. And then doing the analysis of looking at how the land development regulations, the zoning and comp plan work on that parcel, looking at what can be built there. And beyond those elements that the village needs, what are the other components that can be constructed under your current regulations? Doing a financial feasibility analysis of that to determine is that something that will attract private money or will it, or won't it? You know, they're going to be looking for that return, that reasonable profit to do that. And so what we would do is we would look at 3 different scenarios. 2 of those scenarios would look at different options that Natasha and her team would develop and tell us, here's what we can build and here's how it can be financed. Then we would look at a third option, which would say, okay, this may not fit under the current codes that you have, but here with these tweaks, here's a third scenario that you could do that could be feasible and it could attract interest from the private sector. So all 3 scenarios would have that financial feasibility piece. We would identify for you any obstacles that are in the way of attracting the private investment. And also, besides whatever changes to the LDRs might be necessary, but identify here's some other things that you could do that would make your project more attractive to attracting private investment. Would obviously look at what's the fiscal impact, what does this mean long term in ad valorem revenue and other revenues to the village. And then give you a specific outline and guide to develop the RFP and the solicitation document itself to go to market with.
Thank you. Mr. Crowder, questions for Mr. Crowder?
Yeah, just a sort of conceptual question. We're looking at potentially spending $22,000 some odd dollars for additional analysis by RMA. And we heard earlier about investing in our downtown and trying to grow things in the Main Street program. I mean, I know you haven't done the analysis yet, but in looking at our downtown, you all have already spent a lot of time looking at our downtown. I mean, do you see sort of the basic elements existing with those 3 properties, our new sewer system, and the direction we're heading? That this is something that we should be looking at. We're not sort of wasting our time just getting a report or something from you guys.
No, we do. We have some thoughts on how it can come together and work. And I think that in doing the work on the design standards as well as looking at the parking, that's given us a lot of insight on those different elements on how it can work. And really, kind of the key thing that's going to make it work or not is how parking is treated and how parking is addressed in this, but also connected to the work that Natasha and her team is doing. And I think that there can be some synergies there that make this project much more attractive. But I think that from a commercial standpoint, it is valuable, and it's just a matter of figuring out how those financial pieces and the village's needs fit into it.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Okay, so I have a question. Anyone else? Go ahead, Amanda. Okay. Oh, sure, Mr. Serafino, go ahead.
I was looking at the proposal attached. The thing that I thought was missing was a contemplating schedule. How long do you guesstimate from work authorization to final report?
I thought that when I went back and read it. It's no more than 3 months. It's between 2 and 3 months.
That's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Okay, I guess I'd like to speak from the standpoint that we don't have the final product from the downtown development study yet. So, as a layperson, not in this field as some of my colleagues are, I'd like to ask you, in sort of simple layman's terms, of course, as a village, we do a lot of RFPs and RFQs. That's how we ended up with you. That's how we've ended up with other vendors. And we've been doing more and more of them. So I would suggest to you that we have a pretty competent staff. What if you were a developer and reading the same output for an RFP or Q, accompanied by your report or unaccompanied by your report? What's going to be the difference, and what's going to really give us the edge by working with you on this project?
The key thing is understanding what the developers are looking for when they're evaluating RFPs. There are a lot of opportunities out there, and there are a lot of cities doing public-private partnerships. And there's big opportunities in public-private partnerships. And these RFPs, when they're going out, are still only getting 2 or 3 respondents to them. Because it's responding to this type of RFP is very different than just a private sector development process. And so what we understand is what those developers are looking for in an RFP and giving you the guidance to give as much clarity and certainty in your document that developers are looking for. Because if they don't see that clarity and it is not crystal clear to them what you're looking for and what their opportunity is, they've got just another stack of opportunities that they're going to go to. So we have a lot of experience. Our team, we have 4 people in our team that have done combined more than 25 real estate-based public-private partnerships. And so we've got that understanding on being able to bring you, give you the document that will get you the interest that you're looking for.
Okay, thank you. That answers my question.
I'd also add, I think it's the financial package as well. I mean, you mentioned that some of us do this, and I see a lot of local governments, including the county, for example, in the courthouse, where they think, well, we can do this. But they really don't, and us as lay people don't understand what the market is, what developers are looking for, and how they're willing to contribute to a project, and what they'd be looking for from us as the local government in these projects. And that's why having an expert, and a lot of times people think, well, we're spending a lot of money on consultants. This is something I think if we want to have a public-private partnership and have something developed there, that's going to be a signature project. That you need someone to help you who's done it before in other places. I mean, we have one chance here to do it and do it right. Because if we go out to the market and we fail, it's going to be difficult to fix that and go out and get confidence from developers to come back in a second time.
Yeah. One thing that I would add, and we were at a meeting where we're doing a P3 for a different city this morning, and the Vice Mayor's right. If you're going out and putting your credibility on the line, and you've got to establish credibility with the private sector. And so you've got to make sure when you go to market and do that you do it right. That's a problem that Margate got into in a big way, probably between 3 and 10 years ago, in going to market 3 times to try and bring a P3 to their city. They ran into a lot of problems.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
A couple questions along the same lines. First of all, has your firm or just the principals in your firm, you brought some of these P3s to close, right? I mean, some of these actual deals have happened because, as the Vice Mayor said, I'm in this business and I see how many of these just fail. And that's my major concern. Somebody that's actually got a track record of bringing these things to close.
City Place, Avenue Austin, Fort Lauderdale, Worthing Place on Atlantic Avenue, Fifth and Austin, Sunset Harbor Shops on Miami Beach.
Okay.
A large portfolio would be happy to share that portfolio as well.
That's awesome. And most recently, I mean, part of the thing that I've also seen is how saturated the market is right now with these, and that is driving down participation even further. In terms of the last couple of solicitations that you've done, have you seen good participation? Can you say offhand, have you gotten 2 or 3 or 4 bidders on that work?
We have the last one, which was the Margate City Center, that we did. We got 4 bidders on it. 3 that I would call strong, and we shortlisted the 2 that are just fantastic bidders. Very, very strong companies that have been very involved in Dana Beach and Delray Beach, all over South Florida.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions? None? Okay, thanks, Mr. Crowder.
Thank you.
There's not a motion on the floor.
There's no motion.
It's not included.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, are we ready to call the question? We have further comment? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yes, Mr. Crowder, we, at this point, we take public comment on this item and appreciate anyone coming forward who would like to state their name and address and tell us their feelings on potential contract with RMA.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. Gwen Brzezinski, 50 Northeast 108th Street. I wasn't originally going to comment on anything except the previous item that I commented on, but I simply want to add a thought. You've had a number of people, I don't know how this project will be structured, but you've had a number of people that are critically interested in downtown interests come up and speak in front of you this evening. And I hope that this process includes input from them, because if I have seen situations where in order to attract development, the project itself veers into something that the residents end up not wanting. And I would like to make sure that this project moves forward in a way that we attract public-private partnership and we get something that the residents actually want. Thank you.
Thank you. Any others? Okay, public comment now closed. Council? Would you like to call a question, or do we have further discussion?
Madam Mayor, I have a question based on the previous public comment. How will the public be, how will they be able to provide input?
We'll work with the manager on the different methods, but as we did with the work that Natasha's done here as well, we do a combination of survey work, one-on-one meetings with downtown stakeholders, public forums as needed, and so we'll fit that in as it fits into the process that we're doing here. You'll need more of that once we finish our report as we move forward with the project as well. Because one of the things, and it's not specifically listed in here, but we talk about feasibility, and you think about that mostly in financial feasibility. The thing that we've learned in doing a lot of P3s is to be able to also look at community and political feasibility, and that being just as important to having a successful public-private partnership as any of the other elements.
Thank you. I know I myself was just reviewing the resident workshop that we did back in May, and I feel we got a lot of interest in this village from the public and a lot of really good input. So I'm sure that process would continue if we do such a major step.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
if I may, to Mr. Crowder, Ms. Ledesma's comments about including the public, will you include that in your cost estimate? Will those services be included in this $22,800 proposal?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.